first thing, man, dude, congratulations. That's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
State champion, dude. Not oh my goodness. Um, it's funny because like I was talking to like Coach Young about this too, and it's so crazy because you talk in the summer and like you have these goals and whatnot, and then to like kind of just now reflect on it, it's like, dude, can you believe that, dude? And we were talking mid season too, like, dude, state champion. That's insane. That's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's hats off to you. I'm be honest. My and I think I said this in my predictions, but like I didn't know, man. I didn't know if you were gonna be able to beat Talon because I in my eyes, like he had such a good season. It was just really consistent. It was a really
Yeah.
consistent season. I thought he was coming on at the end. Um, but dude, you showed such composure the whole race. It seemed like watching it and then watching it again. Um, you look good, and that's why I said like that's why I mentioned the height. I'm like, dude, Keller's like this dude's like tall as heck. Like, where did that come from? Like, I guess I never realized how tall you were, but you look smooth running it. Like, how was it for you? Like, is that how you felt, or was it like you were really working your tail off the whole time?
It felt really smooth, but I could tell Talon was feeling really smooth too because he didn't look like he was struggling a whole lot throughout that race. But obviously he was having to lead it, so was maybe putting a little bit more effort in over the course of the race. And then I just kicked hard at the end and tried to trust that I had the speed to get away.
Yeah, was there a moment in that race where you thought like it's mine, like I'm gonna win this thing, or not until you cross the line?
When you come into the infield, that really sharp turn. I don't know if you saw it because you were obviously trying to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
different places.
yeah. I saw.
There's a sharp turn once you get into the infield, and I took the chance to look back while making that turn, and he was on the other side of the track, and I was like, I think I've got this. I just have to stay on my feet and like get through the line without anything like crazy going on.
Yeah, that's I know what you're talking about. It's funny because I was just talking to somebody about like the changes that they made to the course, because like the first map that came out, and then the second
Yeah,
map that came out, and then the map that actually was the course on the day of was still a little like tweaks in there because like that little hairpin turn, like that wasn't on the map. It just
yeah.
had you guys like kind of come right in. Um, but dang, that's scary. That's scary to like obviously get to that like that because I mean that's still close to the end. To kind of start realizing you got it. Um, what were what was the game plan going in? Obviously, like you really hadn't raced those May River boys
Yeah,
at all this year, right?
I was gonna say
Right.
I looked at the beginning of the season because I knew Jackson for sure. I mean, he was the top returner in 4A. Was was a May River guy that I need to be paying attention to if I wanted to go for state. And I realized we didn't share a single meet all season. Like they just kind of they stayed lower state, we stayed upper state, and it just happened to be that we didn't race any meets together. So coming into the season, I kind of knew I was going to have to at at state figure out what I was going to do with the May River guys. Um, so yeah, I saw they had some fast times, so I was a little nervous, but then I felt a little better after state qual when we got the same course, and I compared pretty well.
Yeah, the we talked to Jackson in the summer as well, and he mentioned that he didn't say Talon's name, but he mentioned like a guy was coming into the school. He was coming from his dad is in the military, so he's coming from overseas, and my initial thoughts were like, like okay, sweet, like you have a training partner, like this is gonna be pretty good. Now, little to find out, like Talon ran like great. He was a great 15-minute runner. Like he really
Yeah,
helped that team out, and obviously brought another level of competition to 4A that I obviously just you don't expect it. Obviously in the summertime, like you just never know. So that was pretty cool. And like you mentioned, like yeah, dude, never racing them at all. That's tough. That's tough in a way because you can't quite see their cards at all. Like you see the
yeah,
times, but it's one thing to like Okay, how are they? Are they gonna like run next to me? Are they gonna run behind me? What was your game plan heading into that race? Like, did you want those guys to kind of take the lead or and sit back or what?
Um, so I feel like the best game plan for me would be for the race to kind of go out hot, kind of take the kicks out of some of the middle distance guys like that do great in the 816 and stuff. And so I was wanting to take it out kind of strong, but Talon also wanted to take it out strong. So then I was like, I mean, this is great. I can let him lead a little bit and just not have to work quite as hard to be in the lead. So the game plan was to, if somebody could take was willing to take it out a little fast that I could sit on, to sit on them for the first 2.5 miles and then try and just at the end push past and finish.
Yeah, and you look at that. I mean, dude, a PR,
Yeah.
obviously, like that's pretty huge. Especially for like a game plan of like, oh, I'm gonna sit back because you never know. Like if you sit back too long and the times may be a little bit slower. Um, with the whole game plan. Um, what were some of your thoughts on like just Aiken steeplechase as a whole? Like, did you like the course? Would you rather have been at Newberry or something, or what?
I actually really like the course. I especially like the fact that like people can PR at state. Like just the fact that like it's not a slow course, and so like you can have some pretty fast state times there. And I think I mean that's good for South Carolina running too, just for the state championship to not be people struggling to break 16. That it can be some guys who I mean can get low 15s like 3A. But I mean it's also I mean it seemed pretty fair. Like I mean all of the races were not blowouts by I mean most of them weren't. I mean some they were
Yeah.
30-second gaps and stuff. But like it didn't seem like it was like oh only one person really did great on the course. It seemed like overall people did pretty good. And yeah, I think that it's a pretty good course.
Yeah, I think yeah, when you mention it too, I think almost pretty much every race was really really good. It was a
Yeah.
really good state this year. Um and I do like the fact that you mentioned like it's kind of nice to cuz a lot of like guys from out of state too. They're not obviously watching, you know, a Starlight meet or a Low Country or something like that, but everybody's watching the state meet. Everybody has eyes on like, all right, what are these guys doing? Um and in a weird way it too it kind of like I don't want to say justifies or like identifies your state as like how good it was because it is the state meet, so you expect like the best of the best to be there. So when you do have times of like Newberry, you're like, oh well, that's a slower state, but it's like now you kind of see the Aiken times and like yeah, like Jackson running 15:03 and Ella running like 17:30s. It's like all right, like this is a
Yeah.
like they had a good state year. Um, that was cool to see. The sand that didn't bother you at all or what?
I mean it you could tell it wasn't giving you back as much energy as you are used to, but it was such a small part of the race, and it really wasn't bad. There were some roots there, so I mean that was maybe like that could have been better because I think it was the first time we went through the sand. Talon I think tripped on a root, and I was like, oh, let me make sure I don't do
Yeah.
that.
Um, the again you talk about like sitting on somebody, especially through those sand piles. Like my first initial thinking, even on like easy runs, honestly, is like you try to. It's like water, right? Like you try to avoid the water, by going like left or right, or if there's like a smooth path forward. Um, did you see any of that? Like, could you avoid any of that sand, or were you just like it didn't matter which way you went, you're gonna have to just go through it?
I think you just had to go through it. I kind of just took the shortest path. Oh, and I did want to mention that I saw Daya's interview, and I did get some sand in my eyes. She was talking about that in hers, and that I don't know if I think it was probably the golf cart kicked up some sand, but it got in my eyes the first time, and I was like, oh, that's like something I didn't plan for. Like I wasn't like, oh, when I go through the sand, it might get in my eyes.
Yeah, that
So
is a fact.
yeah,
I don't think anybody planned for that one. That was not on the bingo card. Like the golf cart would be an issue at the state meet. That was especially at the start too. Like that kicked up so much. That was wild. um, when when you look at obviously that race and whatnot in the game plan, and was there, I told you, I asked you, like, is there any time like you knew you had it? Was there any time where you had any doubt during the race where it's like, ooh, I'm going, like, there's a rough patch here, I really need to hang on?
Um, I mean, there wasn't particularly in the race a time when I was like doubting it. I feel like the week leading up, there were some ups and downs of how much I felt like I was in the race. Like, I mean, obviously, Talon's run 15:20, so I mean that's kind of like, especially after you pulled up his season, I was like, I mean, he's had a great season. I was like, he he's been running great all season. So I had like some doubts during the week of just, oh, like these are some actual like really fast guys, and I'm gonna have to bring my best if I want to really go for it and maybe win state.
Yeah, I think it is curious when you when you kind of look at some of the things, and like, because I think again the season goes by so fast that you just don't take a second to like look back on like what other guys are doing, and then when you like really pull up the data and you're like, oh man, like this person has done this, and like it is going to be competition. It's not going to be a cakewalk to the title. I can see how that could definitely get some nerves going. Um, Crowd noise, like, and I know we've talked about crowd noise throughout, but like obviously states is just such a different, it's a different atmosphere, and especially that course too, because you do run past the crowd at least three times or so, and then obviously the finish. Did you hear anybody, like, did you hear a coach at all give you advice throughout the race, or no, were you just kind of zoned in?
I did actually hear my coaches. I think partially because on day one of state, the spectators didn't really know where they were allowed to be, but the coaches had kind of figured that out on. They had a Zoom call on like Thursday or something to ask the high school league where they were allowed to be on the course, and so my coaches, like all the coaches, were isolated from all the spectators, and I mean we had four coaches along the course, and so I I heard them more because their voices were isolated. And so like I heard my coaches some more, and then I heard a good bit of people actually. Usually I'm not that like able to hear during like hear people during my race, but I feel like at state I was more aware of it than
Yeah,
usual.
yeah. Did you realize how well the team was doing during the race, or you had no idea?
I had no idea. I like knew what the team was thinking, like in terms of like where they were trying to be. Like I knew Evan was going to try and be in like the chase pack ish. Like I mean, be not try and go out and beat like me and Talon and Connor. Like that wasn't his goal because it just made sense for his race to go out a little bit behind us and then try and be. I mean, he ended up getting all the way up to Connor, but try and be fourth or fifth in the race. So I knew that was the game plan coming in. And then I really didn't know how well everybody did till, I mean, honestly, the awards. Because I was looking at the All State and we had, I think, 1 point maybe over Bishop England, all state wise. And so I was like, I asked my like 4 and 5 guys, I was like, did you guys get the B guys? And they're like, we think so. And I mean, turns out we got 2 points from them.
Yeah, it's I guess it adds like a level of excitement. Obviously, like not having the results posted out immediately, which like I honestly I feel like it frustrated a lot of people because I was getting like on YouTube, I was getting people like comment like, "Hey, where are there's no live results. What are the results? What's going on?" So like I was telling them like I'm finding out at the awards essentially. So like when they would start naming off like 10th down, like I was typing in like 10th place, so and so time, da da da, and so it does make for a really big level of excitement. But like, oh my gosh, that's got to be insane. Like, so did you when did you realize that you guys won like as a team? Was it at like
It was
Was
at
it there or?
it was when they announced Bishop England.
Oh wow.
Like, I mean, we probably should have told some parents, hey, can you count Bishop England? You count South Point and see who wins. But we kind of just, I mean, it didn't change how we raced. So, like, the guys were just, we talked about just beating every single person you could. Because last year, I think we got a little too focused on May River because they were the big team last year in
Yeah.
4A. And we ended up losing to Bluffton and Hilton Head by, I think we scored 103. Hilton Head was 102. Bluffton was 100. So we lost by 3 points and got third last year. So this year we were really like, just beat anybody you can. Like every person counts. I mean, if it's a Bishop England guy, that's great. That's puts them back one, puts us forward one. But yeah, so we really just found out when they announced it.
That's so cool. That's like a really cool experience though to like to
Yeah.
find out then. Heart racing, but cool. Um I've never asked this question. I was just curious though because we were talking about like if you notice anybody on the team. Do you notice any like cameras on the course? Like do you notice me at all on the course or like you just like I don't even care about this camera, dude. But do you see the cameras or no?
Not usually. Sometimes I feel like in the past, like years past, I've noticed like the mile split guys, because usually they have like whole big setups and are in like bright red shirts with mile split on them. But I didn't notice anybody on the state course. I think I was just so focused on just the race and
Focused on.
staying in it, really trying to execute on the plan we had, and I mean, really just go try and win state.
Yeah, I just thought of that. I'm like, I wonder if they even. I should ask that question. I'm so curious of that. Like, if you ever notice anybody, um, obviously the PR 1539 at states, that's got to be pretty. You know, hey, sub we're under the 1540 mark.
Yeah,
Um, what are you doing Brooks or anything? Are you doing? Didn't we talk about like? Are you
I'm gonna
doing
do running
postseason?
lane.
Running
Yeah,
lane. Okay.
I was gonna do NXR, but there's some registration mix-ups, so I didn't end up going.
Yeah. Well, dude, NXR is honestly just that's something in itself. I don't know why they race at noon in the heat and all that stuff. That's
Yeah,
crazy. But because obviously you saw like it's hard to say a course was slow when you have guys running sub 15. But it's like you do look at some of the guys' times in South Carolina. And you're like, well, dang, like maybe we just ran slow. I don't know what it was, but it was
yeah,
tough. It's a tough. You can't fault the conditions though either. Like it's a tough course to run on as well.
yeah.
But running lane, have you been out there before?
Yes, I've been out there twice for track, and this will be my second time out for cross.
Okay. And you like the course? It's fast, right? It
It,
is
it,
like there's
it's
everybody
it's
PRs on that
supposedly
one.
fast. The last time I went, it was really rainy and muddy, so it was not very fast. Like I think top 20 in the race, like in the fast race, was like 15:30, like high 15:30s.
Yeah, that's
So,
yeah, I was gonna say I remember the first year it came out, like that COVID year. Um and it was oh I can't even remember that team name. But I had like Lex Young and Nico Young and
yeah,
all
Blueberry.
those guys. Yeah, and they they killed it. But does because obviously, this the state meet was a while back, like do you is it hard to kind of continue the training a couple more weeks like because you're kind of in like a limbo period where you want to keep training at a highish level but you don't obviously want to like kill yourself too like did you taper it all for states and now you're kind of like ramping it back up or what?
So I tapered. I mean, a good bit for states. Like I've tapered 5 miles off of my weekly mileage since states, but I'm just staying at 40 miles a week until running lane. So I mean, still fairly high mileage, but I mean, I was running 60 at the peak of the season, so I've tapered down a good bit.
Yeah, because you almost don't want to like get out of the rhythm too much but you do in a way too. So
Yeah.
it is a weird balance, especially because it is in December time. Um, when you look at like you know I think like I can always go back. And my school was 7th through 12th, and I was on varsity in 8th grade. So like there was a lot of different varsity teams throughout the years. But every single one of them was special in some way, just with the crew that you had, the funny, the times, the faces, the jokes. Um, what makes this team and this season so special?
Um, I guess what makes this year so special is, I mean, there's a lot of senior guys on our varsity, and we all, I mean, our like whole top 10 gets along pretty well, but like especially like our top six, because that stayed like consistent all year, is just got a lot closer this year. And so just the like friendship and like the bond that we have in terms of just like, I think this is the tightest knit team we've had since I've been on the team, just in terms of everybody being like one big group of friends, and like we do, like one of our like guys on our team had like his birthday was last Tuesday, and that there was a sleepover. I didn't actually end up going, but like all of the rest of the guys went and did shenanigans there. It was like right after they did indoor 32 last week, but then they went and I don't think they actually slept over, but had fun late into the night.
Yeah, no, man, that's cool. That I think that's what it's all about too. I think that's what, like, when you look back, it's like honestly, it's like those kind of things. Like it's the little things like that can bring a team to winning a state title, because there's that camaraderie. There's that, you know, hey, I'm not doing it for just myself. I'm doing it for the guys. Like I gotta, grit the teeth and get down to business and catch these two more, Bishop England guys to make a difference. And I think when you realize that it isn't just about yourself, it's a team effort. Cross country is a team sport. I think, obviously that's how you see the results that you guys have seen. Um, you know, we, we did talk about a lot of, like, obviously season goals, and it's not over. So I hate to like cap it off already. But like, just the season accomplishments that you guys have had so far as a team and just personally. Um, how do you feel like it's gone? Like, maybe there's some races like during the season you might have wanted to kind of win, but I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are state champions. Like, I think that's got to be
Yeah,
the cherry on top of anything, the Mona Lisa of everything.
yeah. I'm really happy with my season, and I mean, obviously, I mean, who's not happy with the state championship season, especially if you get two titles in one year. Um, I mean, there were maybe a couple of races that like right after I was like, oh, I could have run that a little better. Like maybe I could have shaved a second off or beat one or two more people. But I think overall I had a great season, and I mean I'm hoping to go running lane and maybe run a really fast time. Like I feel like one of the, I mean I won state, but then after I was like, if I had run like 4 seconds faster, I would have had the like in the school uniform school record. Um, and so I mean that's just like a, oh, like if it wasn't state, maybe I could have done that, but I would have run state any different because
Yeah,
ultimately it comes down to who crossed the line first. It doesn't really matter the time.
yeah, and like we were saying, obviously you still have running lane and whatnot. Do you feel like there's something more in the tank right now? Like, do you feel there's still like a big PR kind of lurking, or at least there's something left in the tank?
I think so. Like I think the way like the way I've trained this season has I think made it more possible for me to go into December and maybe hopefully get a big PR on a good course. Like I mean the running lane course, as you were saying, Newberry Park ran like a national record, like 14:13 or something, team average. So it's known to be fast. So I mean hopefully that will work to my advantage. because I feel like we haven't run super fast courses all year. Like we ran like Newberry twice, McAlpine twice, Wake Med once. I mean, we ran Starlight, and I mean Clover, and none of those are particularly fast. I mean, Starlight has had like the course change, so it's not quite as fast as it used to be.
Yeah, that's those some great points. Do you have a favorite race from the season? And like, and I got not course, but like just race. Like the race was great, the meet was great, everything about it was great.
Um, I mean, I think like the race in terms of like being, especially like being in the race and like feeling really good, like just feeling like I was in great shape, had a lot of fun. I mean, I felt like the event was really great too. Was actually the Clover one, because that race, I don't know what it was, but I just felt so relaxed, so fast. Like, just felt like I was in like flow state the whole time, even though it's like one of the hardest courses I think probably in the state because of how big of hills it has. But I also just like the environment around it. Like they for the awards, it looks like they just like went out into the woods and found some wood to cut up and like made all their awards out of it. I also have
Oh,
a
that's
gold
sick.
chain um with like a disc of wood on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the gold chain, I have a metal thing back there, but it doesn't actually fit on that. So I have it like around the post of my bed. Um, and then also just, I mean, Coach Young made a pretty good race, and like just the environment around it. And then also just it felt like there's a deeper purpose to it in the fact that they were memorializing Lee at it. And at the award ceremony, I think Northwestern got like a 3rd mile marker in honor of her too. And just like how York County like kind of came together there, and like just all of the that like added like meaningfulness behind it too.
Yeah, Urban Announcing, they were out there as well. They did a great job. Yeah, Coach Young, oh, he's gonna love you for speaking highly of that. I know. Yeah, that me, I think when you do add all that together, it definitely it's a highlight. It really is. I'm hopefully more teams continue to come out. I know it's like it's grown from the first year to this past one. So hopefully it continues to grow because that it really is a unique course and a unique, I think, experience altogether. You just don't see that much at some courses as well. Um, we get into track, obviously. Um, Season's still going on, but I'm assuming, are you going to take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off
Yeah,
after?
I'll probably take a week to 2 weeks off. And I mean, once I come back, obviously, I'll not be jumping up mileage. I'll probably slowly build back up. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and okay, so 1 2 weeks off, and then I was curious of this too, because you kind of see it with some guys in track. Have you thought about doing a 5K on the track this year?
I have thought about it just because I feel like I fall into the category of like true distance guys, like where a 5K on the track would make sense. Like I have people on my team who it wouldn't make sense to run a 5K because that's not where their strength on the track is. Um, so I've looked at some of those dates. Obviously, I would need to talk to my track coach and see if any of those dates work out for me to go run a 5K.
Yeah, because I feel like when like looking at some guys that could do it, I thought of you immediately. That's why I asked that question. Because I feel like it suits you well, honestly, and I feel like you have like a legitimate shot at running something really quick on the track for 5K. Um, I don't know if it's the height or if it's just, yeah, you just look so smooth um, in your racing. Would Are you gonna look at any indoor type of meets at all, or are we just kind of skipping right to outdoor?
I am gonna probably run. There's a Clemson High School invite, and January. I think it might be the 10th. So I'll probably go run that one. I might just run the mile there and just get an indoor mile time, like have a fitness check, and then move on to outdoor.
Yeah, and so we talked a lot about obviously like your brother and his in his times whatnot. How many did he won state? I'm assuming.
Yes, he won cross country 1600, 3200 his senior
How
year.
many? Okay, so he has one title in cross country.
Yes, one actually won all state in cross country because he was like 16th the year before, so it wasn't all state.
Okay, because I was gonna say like there you go. Like at least you tied him on that one
Yeah,
to start off. So
I mean if you
we're
count the
catching him.
team one, then I mean maybe I have one more.
Yeah. Hey, the team one counts, man. The team one counts. But no, man, that's cool. We're gonna get a 16 and a 32. Are you planning on doubling, for track, or are you gonna
I
focus on one?
I think I will. I mean I think the 32 is my stronger event, but I think I'm gonna go run the 16 and 32 at state, and I figure why not go for both. I mean, especially with the 16 maybe my weaker one that like I feel like I can do the 32. Like last year I did 1632 and placed pretty well in the 32. I mean, obviously, I mean this year the hope would be to win the 32, but um yeah, I think I'll probably double. I'll stay off the 4x8 though cuz I don't have a grid 800 PR.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say like there is every reason to not double, but if you think you can do it, because it's like because if you got guys that are only gonna do the 32, I mean, obviously they have fresh legs for it, so there is a thought process behind it
Yeah.
of like not doing it. But I think as long as you're strong enough to do it, I mean, there's a good opportunity to. Why not? Um, is that going to be more of like a end of the season type of decision, or like are you kind of set in stone? Like I'm gonna double because like what if the 16? Like what if you just feel stronger in the 32? Like I have a really good shot at winning it, but if I do the 16, maybe it'll kind of degrade that in a way. Like are you set on that, or it's kind of gonna be later on to decide?
I think as of right now, I think I'll do it, but obviously, I mean, plans can change. Like I all season thought for state cross country, I was gonna try and go out there and just like lead out hot, try and just outrun everybody. And then we got to like state qualifier, and I was like, I mean, I could do that, but I think there's gonna be other guys who want to do that too. So I'm gonna like work with them or like let them do some of the work. So like I mean, plans can change, but right now I feel like I want to try and do 16 and 32 because I think I'm hoping to get in some pretty good shape for both of them.
Yeah, I think especially with track, there's a lot of tactics that go into that, a lot of it, and you may be even the best guy, like time wise that day, like for the season, but on that day, like if tactics just don't go your way, you kick too late or kick too soon, it could be anyone's
Yeah.
race. And I mean, we did see that though quite a bit too in the in cross country this year. There was a couple upsets, if you want to call them. I call them upsets,
Yeah.
that you just didn't expect to see, whether it be due to the heat or the wind. And I know we mentioned that as well. Two big factors. And I feel like track too, you just don't have enough. Like that's the biggest complaint I heard last season was like the timeline was just so tough to double because it was so like scrunched up, which
Yeah.
makes it even more like, what are you gonna do? Um, for outdoor season, do you plan on racing a lot, or maybe even like I don't want to say like going easy, but like do you plan on racing a lot? I guess really.
Um, I think like I mean, I've talked to our track coach a little bit, and it sounds like we're gonna have like a not really a varsity and JV, but like he's gonna have some weekend meets that like he's only gonna take the top certain amount of people. Like he's not gonna take everybody to all the weekend meets. and then the people who don't race on the weekends will race. We have like midweek meets, so like it's not like some people aren't going to get to race at all. But
Yeah. So I
yeah,
guess really though, are you gonna do you plan on doubling each race or no?
I think I'll do a good bit of doubling. I think I'll probably decide to focus on one sometimes, and then the other times. So like there might be some meets where I run hard the 16, and they might be in the 32 and just take it a little bit easier than usual, or some meets where I don't do the 16 so I can have a really fast 32.
As a competitor, do you like when you have to watch the 16 go by and you're just waiting for the 32? Does that like motivate you in a way, or do you does it like do you get like, oh man, like I really want to be out there, or what?
I think sometimes I'm like, why can't I just go race both? Because especially when I was like in ninth grade, and I mean even 10th grade, I'd race 4x8, 16, 8, 32 every meet, and just was enjoying the, oh yeah, let me go out there, let me compete, let me race these races. I mean, maybe sacrifice fast times incidentally for trying to run everything, and just like it is pretty chaotic. Like looking back at it, that like you do the 4x8, you finish, you check in for the 16, you finish, you check in for the 8, you finish, you check in for the 32. But I feel like that was really fun, and like I mean I wasn't getting crazy times out of it, but I got to compete a lot, got to have fun just running every event.
Yeah, I think that is that's something that kind of like goes unnoticed sometimes. Like you just like watching I don't know, like watching people race motivates the heck out of me. I'm just like, man, like I want to get out there. Like watching you, I'm like, dude, I want to get out there and run with Keller. Like I want to run side by side and compete, and it just like the competitive fire in everybody, um it makes it exciting. And a lot of times, you don't even see like obviously like 4x8s aren't in like results like on profiles or anything, so you don't even realize like, oh, there's guys doing they are doing triples and whatnot. um so yeah, it just makes it exciting. Keller, thanks for coming on, man. Third time on. First person who's been on three times. So I just love talking to you, man. It's such a great honor to cover you and cover your season this year. Huge congrats on to the team. Let them know I said hey, and congrats, and just huge congratulations to you. Obviously, again, it's not over yet. We still got one more. But we'll be watching, man. We'll be, trust me, like watching NXR. I was watching the just live results um, last Saturday, and I was sitting there waiting every single like because they had splits throughout the race, and I'm just sitting there watching, and like I'm like, oh, Jackson, he's competing up there, and just seeing how all the guys were the JL man guys as well, and whatnot. So we're definitely keeping an eye on it, and wishing you the best of luck. And after this, man, take a break, relax, chill. You deserve it. You've earned it. Um, and then yeah, man, get right back to the grind, and we'll be following. Appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on.
Thank you for having me.